In the back, representing Congressman Rangel, we have Ms. Inez Dickens. Would you come forth?
Good evening, everyone. How are you?
Okay.
Blessed and happy Easter or Resurrection Sunday. It's good to be here. I'm Inez Dickens. I'm the New York City Council member representing the 9th Council District from Manhattan. I see my colleague fighting Bob Jackson is here. Good to see you. I am the first and remaining only black woman in leadership in the history of the New York City Council. And as such, yeah, it's unusual when you think it comes. Tonight I'm here on behalf of Congressman Charles Rangel, who injured his back several weeks ago, moving very heavy furniture for his wife. So I agreed to come here and speak. Actually, Jeff Eaton is also going to be coming, but I will be here. Now, we all know the history of Congressman Rangel, the fighting. I think no one can deny that. The earned income tax credits that he has fought for and got passed as legislation. The fact that the affordable housing that permeates the district, the HUD housing, still remains, and when when legislation has to be passed because it has expired, the Section 8 contracts has expired, when Beamer has expired, it has to be passed through legislation again. And he's been able to do so, and the residents of various developments has brought him forward to speak to them because they're very happy about it because it's necessary. These are very devastating times. It's hard times economically, and rents in New York City are excruciatingly high. And people need to be afforded an opportunity to live in communities in which they have lived for years or was raised or that their parents lived in and they want to return to. And so it's an issue that we have fought for a very long time, affordable housing. In addition to that, the empowerment zone was created legislatively, and there's various empowerment zones throughout the United States. Those empowerment zones help small businesses. Small businesses are the economic engine of any community. And in fact, they've now done studies that have determined that small businesses throughout the United States is where most of our employment comes from. In addition, now a lot of people are being laid off. A lot of people are being hit. And big business, they're laying off people. And it's the small businesses that the communities have supported over the years that still have employees. And they don't maybe have thousands of employees, but they are the ones that have created an economic engine to keep our communities going. And the Empowerment Zone has set up various lending formulas that small businesses can get and secure. And in fact, in working with Congressman Rangel and the New York City Council through the 125th Street rezoning, we were able to create where there's a lending opportunity for small businesses only to be able to access. And if they stay in business for 1 year, they pay back 50%. If they stay in business for 2 years, they pay back 75%. If they stay in business for 3 years, they don't pay any of it back. And this is to assist our small businesses to be able to stay alive. And in fact, there's a business on 125th Street, Watkins, that was able to access, and he was able to open up a second small business, a second one. He started out on 125th Street, he moved to a larger place, and he was able to open up a second small site about 15 blocks away from the original. So, and that was done by working directly with the Empowerment Zone. That was legislation written by Congressman Rangel. Now, I want to assure you of one thing, because I've heard this circulated all over. Congressman Rangel is seeking re-election to the now newly created 13th Congressional District. He is running. And not only is he running, but he's going to stay in the race. And if you have blessed him to get re-elected again, he is going to serve the entire term of 2 years. He does not believe in running and asking people to support him, asking you that have stood with him over the years, that has enabled him to bring the dollars home to his district, the educational packages that have been created, the programs that have been able to come right here to our district. He does not believe in asking you to support him, and then he turned the seat over to anyone else. So I want to guarantee you and assure you that I have spoken with him personally. He has also issued a press release just last week, and he did an interview where he said, I am running, I am staying in the race, and if God allows me to get reelected, and if the people re-elect me, I will stay and serve the full term. So I just want to set the record straight on that, because there's been a lot of questions about that, and I just wanted to align anyone's fears that he is seeking re-election, and he indeed is going to come out probably after Easter, because I told him rest. I spoke with him maybe 2 hours ago, and he will be out next week to campaign. A lot of the leaders, a lot of the electeds have heard from him directly, because he's been making phone calls while he was incapacitated with his back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for allowing me. Thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity.
Do you have any questions?
Can we take a quick question and a quick answer?
Gentleman in the back.
In the back?
Despite the congressman's success, how does the Congressman Rangel plan to counter a perception of a lack of public trust, considering what has happened to him in Congress, the fire under which he came? Why should we as a 13th district put our trust in a congressman who has come under such fire? And how will he be able to restore our faith in him again? And considering that, does he deserve to serve based on this?
Well, in 2010 is when, and he has had a lot of difficulty. And he was reelected in 2010 overwhelmingly. So the people did ask him to serve again. I think history will prove that for most of what was done against him was unconstitutional and illegal. Now, I'm not going to say that it was 100%. I'm not going to tell you that, because there were things that was done wrong. I'm not going to say that. But I will tell you that a lot of what was done is now being found out to probably be against the people of this great country. And even though he's had this difficulty and he's been censured, even today he is asked to give his input because of his knowledge, because he has served for so long. And in Washington, like it is on all 3 levels, because the same thing is in the city council, that seniority is what rules. When you first go down to Washington, just like when I first went down into City Hall, no one gives you any information. You're not even given the best committees to serve on. Let me tell you the fact. And you get no assistance. And without the seniority, you are unable to really perform. And that, I don't care who, when I went in to the city council, I couldn't bring home the best for my community. Why? Because I had no seniority. And it's those that did have seniority that knew where everything was located, the pots of money, and the same goes on the federal level. See, negotiating is part of it, but you don't get the opportunity to negotiate until you have seniority. And with all the problems that was heaped upon him, some of which was wrong, some of which they're finding out may have been illegally done, they're still relying upon his input and his knowledge and his ability to work across the aisle. Because that's what's important,
Thank
if
you.
you can work across the aisle.
Thank you.
So thank you.